Alexandra Eala reveals, highlight, of her career after which everything clicked. Alexandra Eala has declared last year's Miami Open run as the highlight of her career and admits she is still in disbelief about how everything unfolded. 12 months ago, the rising Filipina star was hovering around the top 150 in the world when she received a main draw wildcard for Miami. After sneaking into the Miami main draw with the help from the organizers, Eala went on to enjoy a memorable run. First, the Filipina, who was ranked at number 140 in the world when the tournament started, defeated Katie Volanets for her maiden WTA 1000 win. Then, the 20-year-old upset multiple Grand Slam champions and top 10 players after beating Yelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek. In the Miami semifinal, Eala was close to pulling off another massive win, but ultimately fell short to Jessica Pegula in 3 sets. Following a strong Miami run, the Filipina broke into the top 100 in the world for the first time in her career. Eala set 2 records at the time, becoming the first Filipina to beat a top 10 player and the first player from her country to be ranked inside the top 100. Since then, Eala has also made her first WTA final in Eastbourne last year and rose to a career-high ranking of number 31 in the world. Eala, the Miami run has to be the highlight of my career. Everything clicked after that. I think everything at that point after Miami was a new experience, with that ranking being in the top 100 for the very first time, but my eyes were just wide open. I was just so eager to compete and to be at this level. In the end, being on the WTA Tour is my dream. It's to be a professional tennis player and I'm living out my dream, the 20-year-old said on the Sit Down podcast. I think that Miami run has to be the highlight of my career so far. That's what put me on the map. Everything clicked after that. I look back at that moment and I just think, wow, it was insane. It's crazy to believe that actually happened. So far this year, Eala owns a 11-6 record. The Filipina's best run of the year came in the first week of 2026, when she reached the Auckland semifinal. When everything clicked, the turning point of Alexandra Eala. There are moments in an athlete's life that divide everything into before and after. Before the breakthrough. Before the belief. Before the quiet realization that you belong on the stage you once only dreamed about. For Alexandra Eala, that moment, the highlight of her young but already remarkable career, wasn't just about lifting a trophy or hearing applause echo through a stadium. It was the instant when everything clicked. The weight of a nation. Born in the Philippines, a country more passionate about basketball and boxing than tennis, Eala grew up chasing a dream that felt distant from her surroundings. The tennis courts were fewer. The role models were rare. The path to the top of the sport seemed oceans away, quite literally. When she moved to Spain to train at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy, she was still a child. The sacrifice was enormous. New culture, new language, new expectations. She was no longer just a promising Filipina talent. She was one of many ambitious players fighting for space, attention, and growth. At the academy founded by Rafael Nadal, excellence was the baseline. Hard work was assumed. Mental toughness was non-negotiable. And still, for years, success came in fragments. A strong tournament here. A disappointing loss there. Glimpses of brilliance. Moments of frustration. Like many young athletes, she hovered in that uncertain space, talented enough to compete, but searching for that internal shift that transforms potential into performance. The junior breakthrough. Then came the tournament that would change everything, the US Open girls singles title at the US Open. The victory itself was historic. She became the first Filipino to win a junior Grand Slam singles title. Headlines celebrated her. Social media erupted with pride. Back home, she was hailed as a national hero. But what the world saw as a trophy, she experienced as clarity. That tournament was the highlight, she later reflected, not simply because she won, but because something inside her aligned. Her movement felt instinctive. Her decisions came faster. Her belief stopped wavering. Everything clicked. The anatomy of a click. Athletes describe it differently. Some call it flow. Others call it confidence. For Eala, It was a convergence of preparation and self-trust. The years at the Rafa Nadal Academy had built her discipline. The losses had built her resilience. The homesickness had built her independence. But at the US Open, she stopped trying to prove herself. She simply played. Her shots carried conviction. Her footwork sharpened. The mental noise, the doubts, the expectations, faded into the background. She wasn't thinking about history. She wasn't thinking about pressure. She wasn't thinking about being the first. She was thinking point by point, game by game, match by match. And in that simplicity, everything changed. Beyond the trophy, winning a junior Grand Slam doesn't guarantee professional dominance. The transition from junior to professional tennis is notoriously brutal. Stronger opponents, faster pace, greater physical demands, unforgiving ranking systems. But what Eala carried from that triumph was far more valuable than silverware. She carried belief. Belief transforms how a player trains. It changes how they recover from defeat. It alters the way they walk onto the court. Opponents can sense it. Coaches can see it. Crowds can feel it. Before that highlight, success was something she hoped for. After it, success was something she expected herself to pursue relentlessly. The Filipino dream. For the Philippines, her victory resonated deeply. Tennis had never truly broken into the mainstream sporting identity of the nation. Yet here was a young Filipina standing tall on one of the sport's grandest stages. Children began picking up rackets. Local courts buzzed with renewed interest. Sports conversations shifted. She wasn't just winning for herself anymore. She was expanding possibility. And with that came pressure. But pressure, she learned, could be reframed. At the academy in Mallorca, she had observed the composure of champions. She saw how Rafael Nadal carried expectation not as a burden but as responsibility. There was dignity in it, purpose in it. She adopted that mindset. When everything clicked at the US Open, it wasn't just technical execution, it was emotional maturity. The quiet work behind the scenes. The highlight didn't erase challenges. Professional tennis is unforgiving. Rankings fluctuate. Injuries linger. Momentum can disappear as quickly as it arrives. But now, during difficult stretches, she could look back at that defining week and remember what she was capable of. She knew what her best level felt like. And that memory became her compass. Training sessions became more intentional. Strength work more precise. Recovery more disciplined. She began to understand her own game, the angles she preferred, the patterns that opened the court, the mental routines that steadied her in tight moments. The click wasn't magic. It was recognition. Recognition that she belonged. Growing pains and growth spurts. Transitioning fully into the professional circuit required patience. Wins didn't always come easily. Experienced opponents tested her physically and psychologically. But something fundamental had shifted.